Hey everyone, welcome back to hashtag reHip.
Woo!
And this is the last episode that we cover the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that I like to call Kenobi or Kenobi.
Obi-Why did we get this?
Yep, Obi-Why. Obi-Wan can't Obi. That's another one.
You're just riffing them off.
A Disney Plus show that is very divisive.
Season 2.
Nope. Okay then.
We need it. We absolutely need it though.
They did mark it as season finale on Disney Plus for like a day and a half the other day.
A season or series?
Season. It said season finale
Season
for like
2.
a day and a half, and then they changed it to all episodes now streaming, which is very vague.
Season 2.
Hey, man! If they get Liam Neeson in season 2,
That's what I want to see more of.
They wasted him. They wasted every bit of actor potential that they had.
Like, why would you like? I get building up to Liam Neeson.
Yeah, if there's a season 2 and he's a big part of it, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but if this is the end of the show, then the most interesting thing of the show we wanted to see is not even in it. When he showed up, I cheered. You remember that? I went, yay!
Yeah.
And then it ended, and I go,
we honestly thought that the last 20 minutes of the show were darn near perfect and darn near
the hello there.
I know they got in the hello there. Like, yes.
That one you just know that they were baiting us until the end.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they were like that's his big. That's the Obi-Wan line. You got to get it in somewhere. Why? Wait, just do it at the end. I get that part, but I will say the fight scene between Obi-Wan and Vader is pretty awesome.
What was it that one YouTuber said? When they fight the first time, they're fighting on the rock. When they fight the second time, they're fighting within the rock.
The backgrounds are pretty bland, and it's not any of the graphic design animated. It's not their fault. It's just there was no imagination, it seems like, put into the thought process of this, because they just do what they're told.
Well, it's because they film it all on
planets they go to were desert planets, right?
Yeah, desert or rocks, like. Maybe except like Alderaan, but we already know Alderaan, and we're in the woods.
We're not
twice.
really. I was gonna say we're not hardly even there.
Yeah. But it's also because they all shoot it on the what's that thing called? Like their sound stage.
Well, it's a sound, but they have like the holographic set things.
Yeah,
which is cool, but also looks weird.
When you overuse it, it's bad, and they overuse it.
It makes everything feel smaller.
Yeah.
Like, it really does.
Like, I get it. You have your own set. You have that. It's obviously going to be cheaper. It's obviously going to be more efficient to film on that. I get that. I miss real sets. And I know it's expensive. I know it's a lot of money to find a spot to film in, to bring all your crew and all your gear and just everything. I realize it's so much more money and so much more effort. It looks better.
Are we acknowledging that we're a week late on this in the episode?
No.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because my thoughts on it have completely changed. I know are more developed, but only because I've had time to sit on it.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll just cut it out if it doesn't work. Never mind then.
Well, I'm curious, what are your...
It's just that just hearing some of the commentaries regarding that scene with Vader in the helmet and how they use the lighting to annotate who is Anakin and who is Vader. Like, that's a really good scene.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It comes out of nowhere, though. Like, it's supposed to have this really heavy weight to it, and it just doesn't.
It's
like, there's just nothing. Star Wars is a franchise about moments now, isn't it?
Yep, just like everything else that's popular. I do that because just about everything Disney sinks their teeth into tends to be popular.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the opposite problem of all build up, no payoff. It's all payoff, but there's no build up to it. It just happened.
Like, I didn't really feel anything when that whole, like, it was cool.
It was it was awesome, but they were like, to have a moment like that, like you have to lay the groundwork for it to mean as much as it should. And just because like the entire series was him just chasing Leia around the galaxy, all of a sudden you have this really cool moment, but it doesn't have the impact as if it would actually, series would have been about that.
There was no real arc tension between them.
There's not really an arc for either one either.
No, it would have been
everything
interesting.
Kind of
Even if they just did that, well, it can't solve itself because they all still have to exist.
Yeah, I'm just saying it just solves itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, then that's bad because there's no development or arc. He just kind of snaps out of it. And like using the Force a couple episodes ago to save Leia on the fall was good, but it's like the second episode. We've seen just a little bit of struggle with that, and then it's kind of fine the rest of the way.
And then stopping the water in Vader's castle, like that was cool too.
Cool.
But again, it was a moment. There was nothing about his struggle to like, I don't know, regain his Force ability,
and
or
that's like
to hide it or anything like that.
He didn't hide very well.
I could see how some people could like enjoy that bit, like he first saved Leia, then he did the water, and now this. But to me, the fight looked like he was way more powerful, and it looked like it came almost out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden overnight,
like
he was.
You mean the final fight?
Yes, yeah.
It's like he just, I'm awake now, and I'm a Jedi Master that used to sit on the council.
Like I don't have to see like every second of him training, but just a little more than what they gave us.
I don't even know that he has to train. There just has to be more of a struggle.
Yeah,
like there wasn't they just kind of, every episode is just kind of, they go here, they do this, they're fine. Well, sorry, it's more. They go there, they go here, they do this, Obi-Wan runs away. They go here, they do this, Obi-Wan runs away.
Yeah.
They go here, they do this. Then he gains courage and does the thing, but then he runs away again. Like even in the 5th episode, which a lot argue is like the best episode.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
He gains the courage, he gains his ability, but then he runs away again, and it undercuts the entire thing.
Like it just like, and I don't need every show to have like super plot forward writing. Like I would be okay with it if it was just hanging around with the characters and we learn more about them, but we didn't. I would, and for the plot, like there was nothing, like it didn't exist. Well, like there was nothing leading from point A to point B to point C to point D. It was all just happenstance.
The only thing is, where is Leia now? Like, and they kind of laid a good thing down with that first episode, and then the end of the second episode where Reva tells him that Anakin's alive. And like, beside the point of how did she know who Vader was, which gets kind of answered a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's because she was a youngling. That's how she was.
But
one of the younglings.
Like they laid that down pretty well, and then it's just kind of, he doesn't feel anything about having to go confront him. He doesn't. It's just a lot of good
blueprints.
It's It's like the things that were payoffs were not a result of the buildup that was there.
They were just a build.
There. It was
they were just a buildup
of
fan expectations.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I'm not saying that I needed this to be Clone Wars,
right?
But I wanted it to build the story a little more. It feels like it's not a plot hole, but it feels like something that just needs to exist to fill a gap in the story.
And I get it's very tricky to tell a story when you already have your end in place, when you already have your beginning in place, and you have to figure out like an own arc for, like, I get that. Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do.
But the arc of him coming to terms with whether or not he failed Anakin, which is funny because I've been watching Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And there is an episode, I forget what season it's in. He's talking to Ventress, I think, or to Yoda, one of the two. And he straight up says, just because X went to the dark side is not a reflection on you. That is not your failing. And then we get this thing, and it's like, I know it's like almost 20 years later, but
it's one of those things where when I look at something like The Mandalorian and you see how Dave Filoni, he brings out so many parts of the Clone Wars and he makes them work in live action. It's just...
Go ahead.
It's just interesting, and I'm just confused as to how Filoni didn't, like, he just forgot parts of the Clone Wars that he himself wrote, and he didn't, like, bring any of it into play. It just seemed weird.
Again,
because right, he's a producer on this, right?
But so
yeah,
it's one of those things where, again, I didn't need it to be Clone Wars. I didn't really even need like Clone Wars flashbacks, but like studying more of his PTSD and his journey to discovering that it's not his fault, it was Anakin's choice. That would have been more impactful to me. And it's not like I don't like the series. Like, it's good for what it is. And it's really just, it didn't meet my expectations. And that's not the thing's fault.
Right.
That's totally on me. It just didn't, I don't feel like it added to the mythos at all.
No, yeah, it really added nothing to the conference. Like, that's the thing is, I just, at the end of the day, and I didn't see the point of it.
It was fun to see Obi-Wan Ewan McGregor in that role again. And that scene with I don't think it's supposed to have as much weight, but to me, it felt like it had more weight. That part where Obi-Wan tells Reva she's free.
Yeah.
Basically admitting that the Jedi Council and the Order is kind of a prison in its own way. Like, that's powerful.
Yeah, no,
and that was pretty powerful because we had this whole thing with Reva where we understood, at least on some level, what she was about, what she was taken away from, what happened to her.
Okay.
So,
sorry, you mentioning that made me think. I wanted to like fact check it really quick before I said anything, but I think originally they were planning on making Obi-Wan into movies, into just like a 2.5 hour movie here, a 2.5 hour movie there. But because of Solo and how it failed, they were a little more iffy, and that's why they put it right to Disney Plus. I think if this was actually movies, it would have been better. I think if this
as it is?
Well, no, not as it is. But if they would have taken one movie and made it about him and Darth Vader, one movie made it about him and Leia, boom. Just if they had separated those out into movies.
Even if it was one movie about him and one movie about Vader, and they used Reva to like cross them. Even if they did that as a series.
Yeah.
Like if the series flip-flop back and forth between his perspective and Vader's perspective.
That could have been so
like they did that several times to the point in the show where I thought that they were going to do that.
I know, that's the worst part, is because we got stuff that we liked. And it's that kind of stuff like, oh, I love when they did this. I love when they did this.
Or like you always say, the thought that he has a brother.
Yeah.
Oh my!
They just drop it, and then it's nothing.
It's yeah.
You know,
unless it's a future thing,
or you know for a fact they're going to bring that back up. They're absolutely going to.
Or the Jedi the Jedi that are stuck in molasses.
You mean the Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Jedi?
The Jurassic Jedi.
The Jurassic Jedi.
That's a good thing. It kind of references Clone Wars, but it also kind of like it's new.
Yeah,
like that's you mentioned the Mandalorian, and I think what makes that so good is not only does it kind of tie back to like the things the way it ties back into what we know is very small. Like
there's pretty much little like tie-ins to
the biggest thing is the Bo-Katan. Like that's probably the thing that's in there that's got the most weight. That's not just.
I mean, and Grogu being obviously Yoda's species, but that
even that like I'm not gonna even that's only one episode.
Yeah. Wasn't Bo-Katan only one episode?
No, she was in a couple.
Oh, she's at the end too. That's right.
So is Ahsoka's not at the end.
I thought Ahsoka was
at the end of.
Oh, I'm thinking of. Yeah. You're right. She was. Yeah.
But anyway, like there are these tiny little moments that you walk through and you say, oh, the Clone Wars were an actual thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is just new, uncharted territory. And I think that's what makes it good is you don't have to fit it into this framework. And I don't want to say that this is a bad show because it's not a bad show.
It's good. I would honestly, if I were to give it a rating, a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I don't think it's the peak Star Wars that people make it out to be.
Or the worst thing ever, like the other half make it out to be.
I think it's
on this.
Firmly somewhere in the middle where it's enjoyable to a point, but when you stop and think about it, it's like, it's not what I wanted, and again, that's not its fault, but it's not.
It's lacking.
It doesn't have any weight to it.
Yeah. It's like Thor the Dark World. There are good ideas, but it's all nothing.
Yeah.
Because when we watched Thor the Dark World a couple of years ago, when we went through that Marvel thing we did, I remember watching because I'd never seen it, and you had told me, like, it's fine, it's just empty. And when you watch it, you're like, Thor jumping through all the portals fighting Malekith. That's cool. The thought of, like, Jane has the ether in her, and, like, the whole decision of what do we do about this?
It's sort of
an interesting idea, but they don't do anything. And Loki dying, which no one believed for a second. And at the end of the movie, they undo that. But also, like, that it's actually a decent scene, but the rest, it's nothing.
And they wasted a good Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, he has, like, 8 lines. And he's under all that makeup.
Yeah, you can't even see him act.
And they're going to do the same thing to Bale. You watch.
No, I don't think that's true.
But,
I think.
Oh, funny. Christopher Eccleston and Ewan McGregor are in a movie together in the 90s called Shallow Grave. They play flatmates. I don't remember the actress's name, but they all start turning on each other because they get a bunch of money.
Huh!
Oh, you told me about that movie.
Yeah, it's the one where someone was complaining about where'd the money come from. And my professor's like, that doesn't matter. But I want to know.
Hey, let's make a whole movie about how they got the money.
Yep, a whole movie about where the money comes from.
Kind of like, let's make a whole movie about this one exhaust vent in this giant moon-sized space station.
But even that's better than Obi-Wan, where it was a show about nothing. So I would have rather...
The difference being, Obi-Wan has more characters I care about than Rogue One.
Exactly.
Because Obi-Wan, let's see, I care about Obi-Wan.
Well, and then
I care about Qui-Gon. And Vader. And then in Rogue One, I care about
Vader.
Yeah. I was going to say.
You live for that hallway scene.
That hallway scene is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I don't really care for it, but.
I mean, I do like the way they portrayed Vader in this. Like, I know in the 70s and the 80s when they were making the original Star Wars, they couldn't do it, but it's nice to see him more intense and more of a threatening presence.
I love unhinged Vader. Like when he pulled the transport down.
You know, when he snapped that lady's neck?
Like I was like,
or when he pulled Obi-Wan through the fire?
Like I was here with you. I was like,
oh, I had Dragon Force going through my head at that point. I made that joke already.
Maybe.
He was dragging him through the fire and the flames.
That's the other thing is I think that...
I'm glad you had to spell the joke out.
Well, I thought you just went on the song name and not the actual band name. Like I was bringing that into it too.
I didn't want to have to say the song because I thought saying the name of the band was enough. But apparently Dickey has to explain the joke that he didn't make to himself loud on camera so that everyone can look at him and be like, yes. Good job.
What's that song about the boar's head?
The boar's head.
That's not going to make sense to anyone.
Whenever Dickey does something stupid and Jake or someone calls him out, I just start singing the Boar's Head carol, which is an old English carol, which half of it's in Latin, so I can only sing a couple
8
words. Yeah, it's from like the 1400s.
That's cool.
Obi-Wan.
I don't feel like I've let you talk a whole lot, Jared.
I've just I don't have places to butt in because both of you are so intense about this.
It's just I've had a week to think about it. And
yeah,
I know. I keep thinking about it more and more.
I still stand by. I don't like the end of Reva's arc. I think if they want to keep using her, which they've hinted at, a more ambiguous way, because my whole thing was she just kind of like the whole like seeing herself with Luke is a cool idea and a good moment. And I feel like if you show that and show her seeing it over and over, and you don't show the fallout of that, and then just Luke runs back to them, and we don't see Reva, and Obi-Wan goes over there, and she leaves her lightsaber behind, it takes away the powerful moment of you're free, but it also is more ambiguous of, okay, so she's not going to do this terrible thing that we don't really understand, but also she's seemingly given up being an Inquisitor. Like what is next? I like that ambiguity. I
will question one thing though, is why did she not have that like that moment when she was interrogating Leia? Like it's like she was like getting in her face and screaming. Like I'm kind of surprised she didn't, because
Vader hadn't betrayed her at that point, and she hasn't.
Yeah, she
at that point she had not.
Vader betrayed her when she was a youngling, and that was the whole reason.
But
like that's where I'm confused.
She hadn't gotten to that point where she knew it wasn't going to work for her. Like that part makes sense to me. Like, I mean, she still thought that she could beat him. When she realized she couldn't, it's like,
I have nothing left.
My problem with that is, how did she know that Luke was even related to Vader in any sort of capacity?
It's been a week.
Like she didn't even know that Leia was that.
Yeah.
And also, how did Vader not sense them?
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Literally in the base on the shit. Like,
you said
you can scream at me all day long that he thought that they were dead, like Padme was dead.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most powerful person in the galaxy, and they've sold this to us for however many years since the prequels, that he is just absolutely the most powerful Force user that has ever been so far.
Yeah.
And he can't feel his own kin.
When Obi-Wan can sense Luke is in danger from across the galaxy.
Yeah, like
Obi-Wan who hasn't used the Force much in the last decade.
And you can say, oh, his rage is clouding him, and like, no, like I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We need a series to fill in that plot hole.
Just any more plot holes that pop up, just boom, another series. Boom, another series.
I mean, we are getting that Andor.
Okay, that's going to be good.
And I will say the trailer doesn't look horrible.
The Acolyte is going to be good.
That looks interesting.
I have hope, because it's before any of this crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So again, it's new territory.
So I really hope Disney learns their lessons. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing Ewan McGregor back. I love him. I love his Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, I'd take a season 2.
I would take a season 2. But can we please, for the love of all things Star Wars, move on?
It's the past. Move on. Or whatever he said.
Yeah, I love this stuff. I do. I love Star Wars a lot. I'm tired of going back to Tatooine. For the love of all things holy, I'm getting sick. I hate sand. It's coarse. It's rough. It's irritating. It gets everywhere. I just, let's see some new stuff.
What was that about the boar's head?
The boar!
You've said about the end of Reva's arc.
Yeah.
I want to think about that, because I'd rather have that moment with Obi-Wan than the ambiguity. I know you don't like hearing that, but
no.
Like, what if it's not she goes after Luke? Because that still doesn't make any sense to me why she would do that.
No, I generally don't get that either.
But what if it's she comes back for one final battle with Obi-Wan because she sees it as he ruined her revenge?
You see, I buy that more than her going after Luke.
And
I do, actually.
Something happens, whatever happens during the fight, and she just falls down. They have that moment where it's, he doesn't have control over you anymore. I beat him or whatever, or he's just a man. Like, he's not this all-powerful god. And they have that moment, and then just drops her lightsaber, and you just don't see her again.
Yeah, I like that even more. Like, I don't
like.
Why do they bring Luke back into it?
Why was he? I mean, I guess I understand why he was in it to begin with. But.
Okay, that part, yes, but at the end, it made no sense. It seemed like they were just trying to shoehorn his actor into another scene.
Yeah,
like it legit.
They wanted to justify the paycheck they had to give him.
Like that's it. And
or like even better. Her lightsaber drops in the sand. You never see her again. You just see the wind blow the sand over her lightsaber until it's gone.
There you go.
Yeah, that would have been a cool shot. You know what would have been nice to see? Any of that scene where she walked Luke back. I would have actually loved to be able to see something. Because it was so dimly lit that I could barely literally see anything.
I will say we've been knocking on the stages, but that shot where the final confrontation between Vader and Obi-Wan with the moon in the thing. It was a moon, wasn't it?
It was a moon.
Was it Tatooine? It wasn't Tatooine.
No, I think it was just a random moon.
And he's walking to him. I go, oh, that's nice. It's a 2-second shot.
Yeah,
yep. It's like a wonderful spaghetti western moment that they never do anything again with.
Yeah, yeah, because I would have
in the show. A lot of them, there's like no stakes. It feels like because like Reva fighting. Owen and Beru, it's like, well, we know Owen and Beru can't die. Reva could, but I mean, then what was the point? Mm-hmm. And then like the Obi-Wan Vader fights are cool looking, but
you know how it's going to end.
Yeah, neither one can die.
I think that first one we saw had a lot of weight to it.
Because
that's where you actually see his PTSD playing out.
Yes.
And him getting dragged. Oh. But then that second one had good moments, and it was like, man, this just feels empty.
I love that meme.
Also, Vader had the high ground.
I love that. I love that meme. That's like, haha, Obi-Wan, I have the high ground. Haha, Anakin, I made the ground high.
It was like for a brief second, I'm like, that's cool, and then he just started throwing the rocks. I'm just like,
because it does remind you that Obi-Wan himself is very powerful.
Yeah. They're like, oh, that's awesome. And then, like, I don't know, for some reason, just the act of him just throwing rock after rock after rock. I'm just like, it looked kind of stupid. It looked kind of.
How does he break Vader's helmet? Is it with the hilt of his lightsaber? Does it, like, hit it?
No, he got it. He got it.
He actually got a shot.
But my thought is, so at this point, he's going to kill him, like, try and kill him actually before the end, but right. And he's hitting him with the hilt, like here, like he destroys it and everything. And like, you have a wide open shot and you're hitting with the hilt. Why not just?
Well,
I think that's kind of going back to Obi-Wan caring about his animal that he fed.
Yeah.
He still cares about him.
But here's the thing, and I don't remember if I mentioned this or not yet. Why? After they had that conversation, after Obi-Wan fully realized that his friend Anakin is gone. Like, that's essentially what that conversation meant to me, is that he realized his friend Anakin is gone. Why would he not take that opportunity to kill him? It's because they wrote themselves into the corner and they can't. Like, that just sucks.
I still think
I don't know.
Qui-Gon's appearance would have been better if it had been in like the middle at the climax of that fight.
Yes! Thank you! Or why the heck?
Or if it was in that moment, if they did the Reva fight at the end with Obi-Wan, and he stopped it, and he stopped Obi-Wan from defeating her. And that was the moment that made her fall down and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because Qui-Gon makes him realize, like, this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, like when all the rock was piled on top of Obi-Wan. Like, I'm like expect like in the back of my head, like, okay, this is when we're gonna get Qui-Gon. He's gonna talk to him. He's gonna speak him through using the Force and getting back up. Because that's the way
Force Ghosts have worked since the beginning of the franchise.
They pop up when the hero needs the most. That's how that works. And they didn't do it. There's so much opportunity. That's what sucks the most about it. It's good. I like parts of it. But when you see what really worked, I just wish they would have.
It's like it doesn't match it. It's not balanced.
No, it's not like the Force. Like the Force itself.
Neither Obi-Wan nor Anakin brought balance to the Force or this show.
Literally. Yes. Yeah. It irritates me because I love Star Wars so much, and I want everything to be good.
Star Wars is stupid.
And I love it. Most of the time.
More recently,
I mean, the Ahsoka show is probably going to be good because
let's hope.
Because again, that's uncharted territory. Like, what do they do?
I'm thinking.
What do they do with that? They're not gonna.
Yeah. Jared, me and you know what's gonna happen, but we're not.
Well, okay, we know what the basic point of it is.
Mm-hmm.
What it's going to hopefully solve, but we can't tell that to Jake because Jake's not watched Rebels.
He's currently working his way through it. How
did I let myself get so far? Oh, I know. I was in college and too good for cartoons.
Yeah, that came and bit you, didn't it?
No, you came and bit me.
Didn't taste very good.
Oh my gosh.
Do we have any other thoughts on the funny Obi-Wan show?
I just wanted more. That's all I have to say.
Should I give him that one?
Give me that one,
yeah,
please.
I'll give him that one.
Thank you. I can't imagine. I can't think of a better way to phrase it. I wanted more.
Maybe we'll get it in season 2.
Season two. Come on.
Season 2. Hey, Hayden and Ewan have both said
they like playing these characters.
But like, how would that even work?
I don't know.
I mean, their arc together obviously is not complete, but is basically complete.
Yeah, I don't know how it would work, but I want it anyway.
Maybe the season 2 is where we'll get like the internal struggle of how to balance this,
and it's just Liam Neeson teaching him how to be a Force ghost,
and it will have
because we have to get that somehow.
He has to go to that one planet.
Right. Oh, yeah, no. It's not going to be as easy as him just teaching. You got to go to the one planet, get the one thing to finally bring back. And, like, yeah, that's obviously how it would work.
Did he have to bring anything back? No, he didn't. Yoda. He had to go to the one planet and face the trials, and he had to go to the next planet and face the trial.
Mm-hmm.
That one dark side Yoda was pretty intimidating.
Yeah. But also really funny.
Yoda just in general was really funny.
I love yeah, he's a spicy, sassy old man.
Yes.
All right. that's what I got. That's ending on
well, alrighty. That was the end of the funny Obi-Wan show.
We made
6-episode
romp.
Yeah. Romp. Which hopefully there's season 2.
Season 2. Season 2.
Season 2.
But I guess that's all we got for this. Thanks for sticking with us through all 6 episodes. Jake, where can they find
well,
you gotta be on a script here.
On my old Jersey Mike's napkin. Not sponsored. Please sponsor.
Please sponsor us.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Something called a TikTok. I imagine that's pretty funny,
it's
right?
Pretty funny.
Oh my gosh. Hey, just double checking. Currently at 672 followers. So
are they all laughing?
Because it's funny.
I think so. Yeah.
You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and right here on YouTube, where you can click the subscribe button, the like button, and turn on bell notifications so you can get notified.
Please ring our bell.
All at off Slate Media.
The twice a week that we post. So we promise we won't overwhelm you.
Nope.
Yet.
We're working on it.
Well, all right. Don't know when we'll return to this series for sure, but again, thank you.
Probably
and we'll
for
see.
Ahsoka.
Yeah, probably. And we'll see you on all the other funny shows we do, just like our funny TikTok.
Ha ha.
Our shows do make it to TikTok sometimes.
Yes, they do.
True. Well, anyway, from here, I said off Slate Media. Have a good one.
# see you later.
Season 2. Season 2.
Season 2. Season 2.